We're here with Middlebury College. They just won the Division III Field Hockey National Championship. On the podium for the Panthers are head coach Katharine DeLorenzo, senior Grace Jennings, senior Megan Collins, and sophomore Erin Nicholas. Before we open it up to questions, Coach, your thoughts on today's game?
We have a team of warriors who understand each phase of the game well enough to really apply themselves. And you know, when you put that heart and soul and that tactical understanding together with people who really believe that that's all they have to do to finish the way they want to finish, then they stay the course. They stay the course in preparation. They stay the course in the game in much the same way. When we prepare, you know, they're laser focused. When they play, they're laser focused. And when we're not doing one of those two things, they're, you know, kind of off the wall, funny, whatever. But I think they know how to be, how to have a lot of fun, but how to be serious at just the right times. And I think you just saw the results of people being on the same page, people who have some talents and put them to good use, and really stayed the course.
Grace, we'll start with you. This is Middlebury's third title in the last 4 years, fourth overall. You've been a part of all three of those championship teams. What does it mean to you to go out as a senior, as not only a three-time champion, but back-to-back your junior and senior year?
It's kind of crazy to think about. I say this a lot, but every single team, every single year is totally different. We don't really think or talk about the previous years, the previous successes. So to really right now to hear that is kind of insane. And I mean, to think about all those different teams and who they were so different. This year's team was special in its own way. And I'm so insanely grateful to have those individual players that were on those teams and to have a coach like Coach DeLorenzo. I am beyond privileged. And she has created a culture that emphasizes individuality while at the same time dedicating each individual to a greater purpose. So to be so lucky, there really are no words. I'm beyond lucky to be a part of Coach DeLorenzo's team in this entire program.
Megan, you're also a senior. Great way to go out. How is this team different now than it was in August when you first came together and for your first practices?
We just have grown so much as a team together, and in August we were 24 girls who some knew each other and some didn't, and just from then until now it's just a different group, honestly. It's really even hard to compare. We have just grown so much together as a team, and we have so much love for each other now, more than we did in August, which is hard to even believe. But yeah, we've just grown together and come together as one big blue thing, as we say on our team.
Erin, yesterday was just the third time all season that you were held without a point in the game. And I'm not saying that to bring up a negative, but I'm turning it into a positive today. Both goals today for your team. What was your mindset coming in after, I don't want to say being shut down, but being without a goal yesterday or a point, and then coming into today's game? What was your mindset on the attacking end?
For me, I just wanted to stay calm and relaxed. I knew I had teammates around me we would all set one another up for a goal. It's not really, I don't come in thinking that my goal is to get a goal or a point. I just come in to try to support the team as best I can. And the two goals I have is definitely a team effort, and really could not have done it without anyone on the field or on the sideline.
Coach, we talked a little bit about yesterday how it was two of the highest scoring teams in the country against Rowan. Today you're ranked fourth in the country in goals per game, and then you have Tufts, who's third in the country in goals against average, so something had to give. Did the game play out in terms of pace and scoring about how you expected it to?
It actually did. Tufts is the most difficult team we play. to score on. You know, we had the benefit of knowing them so well that we were able to manipulate a normal plan where we were able to outlet and get over the 50-yard line. We're able to manipulate that just some subtleties to sort of a second phase of how you work the ball down the field, and not to divulge too much, but we're looking for where are they not? You know, with their huge commitment to 10 players on that ball side trap, our players are looking to get the ball on the other side and behind that group as quickly as possible. And that's not something that is necessary against a lot of teams. And that's not a direct answer to your question. The more direct answer to that question off of that is we knew still, even with a good plan, it would be very difficult to score against Tufts. We did think we'd be able to score if we got enough set pieces, if we got some corners. And but I think that we've grown to be a team that can develop longer possessions against a ball side trap team like Tufts. And I think today you bore witness to that. The third game out of 3 this year, you know, we were able to, especially late in the first and certainly extending into the second half, we were able to have nice long possessions where they were biting at the end of those, and we were able to create even some of the offensive looks that we had yesterday against Rowan. You know, Tufts and Rowan are completely different teams where the forward line comes to life against a defense like Rowan's, and the midfield comes to life in terms of point getting against a team like Tufts, and I think that's what we saw.
Grace, most outstanding performer of the Final Four. Congratulations. Don't know if you knew that or not yet, but you were named the most...
I don't think any of us could hear those announcements that happened, so...
The acoustics in the dome were thrown. So, congratulations. Quite an honor. You were a force all weekend, down that left side, attacking. It's a very unique style, it seems, that you're holding the stick. Are you left-handed, and can you describe it? Do you think that throws your opponents off a little bit with that being unusual in field hockey?
As far as throwing opponents off, I'm not entirely sure. I think that at the beginning, when I was a freshman, it definitely did. Now you would have to ask them, but I think that Tufts especially is one of the best teams at defending it, and I would be surprised if they said that it was any more of a challenge for them, because they are just phenomenal defenders, and their defense was unbelievable today. And I think, one of the things I love about being a forward is that you need your entire team behind you in order to do your job. You can't get the ball really, except for turnovers, unless you have an amazing team behind you passing you the ball. And in order to take some of the west side take, it's because I know that I have amazing defenders and midfield behind me, and goalie Mego, who is there to make up for any mistakes I make, because I make a lot of them, especially as a forward. So it's been a lot of fun, and I like playing with to answer your other question, I'm not left-handed. I started out playing ice hockey, and so I started out with my stick on the other side. So when I pick up the field hockey stick when I went to high school, my coach was like, just flip it over, you'll be fine. I think her words were, you won't play in college, so don't worry about it.
And look how far you've come. Look where you are today. That's awesome. Megan, after Erin scored her first goal in the first half there, Tufts had it down on your end a good bit there. They had some opportunities. I believe it was 4 or 5 penalty corners in the first half there, 5 shots or so. What was that like from your perspective? Because they were pressuring for a good 20-minute stretch there.
Yeah, it's something that we expect when we play against Tufts. That's how they are. They put the pressure on from the beginning, and they keep it on all game. So playing them twice already definitely prepared me for that. But that's we're here because we're well prepared, and I think every game so far has prepared us for that, especially yesterday. Rowan was really firing shots all game, so I just keep a calm mindset as much as possible, and I have my defenders to help me out when it hits the post and I have no idea where it went, which may or may not happen today. So I count on everybody on the field to help me out, but just try and keep a calm mindset, and I feel prepared from my teammates in practice and the previous games that we've played.
Erin, take me through your 2 goals today. The first one was a rebound off of a shot. You had a little bit of an opening on the right side there. The second one in particular, just so impressive. You're lunging off balance to your left. You backhand it to the far post. Can you talk a little bit about those shots and how they came to fruition out there?
For the first one, it was off of a corner, and we dedicated so much time to perfecting our corners and really making sure that we execute them in a game. So we had a rebound wide open in the middle of the circle, and it was I just saw it and I kind of ran up to it, I guess, very excited to try to just throw it in there and get a touch on it. I did not know it went in really until everyone started jumping. I was very surprised. And then for the second one, I believe it was Ali Demby, made a great pass to the middle, and I was running onto it with an open field right in front of me, so I really just tried to get the ball off the field. And again, I was just trying to get it in. I did not know it went in until Marissa Baker came running over to me screaming. So for both of them, really, it's just trying to hit it in the circle and get it in to try to finish the ball in front.
Coach, your 7th Final Four appearance at Middlebury, as I mentioned earlier, 2nd straight national title, 3rd in the last 4 years, 17th straight NCAA appearance. What does this run mean to the program? Obviously, a national title was a huge deal, but when you think about all of the history of your time at Middlebury, what does this run mean to you?
Well, most of what you said just means I'm pretty old. I mean, it means I get the opportunity to be so incredibly happy for the young women who come to work every day to do this. You know, for me, just being able to sit back and watch this sort of overflowing emotion and that comes as a result of them getting on board. You know, I'm just sort of one crazy person who, you know, wants to grind it out and pick this game apart. And their willingness to go along for the ride, I suppose, is what it really means, what it really signifies. You know, they have a lot of different choices to make about how they're going to spend their time, and they choose to spend a lot of time preparing. I think that many people would be pleasantly surprised at the amount of time that these young women devote to you know, turning over every stone and really studying the game and figuring out what all of the controllables really can be. And the poise that you all see most of the time on the field is really just a result of them being quite familiar with every possibility that could happen out there. The bigger picture, what it really means is, you know, the people who are so proud to be attached to Middlebury, and they're very present along in our season, but the opportunity for, you know, for example, our alumni are 20 years ago today, Middlebury won its first national championship with the 1998 team. And we've been hearing from all of those alums. We learned this morning that their theme for the year was geese taking flight. We had no idea. I was not the coach at that time, and that is our theme for this season, is to take flight together as geese do, and flying in formation, making the jobs of each of the others easier. So it's just pretty extraordinary to have so many relationships mean so much.
Excellent. Grace, you've been a part of 3 of these now. Your 3rd national championship. What are you going to remember most about this one in comparison to the other 2?
I guess one thing that has made this one special in its own way and made different than the other ones is, as a senior, you have to really put a lot of trust in all the underclassmen and really know that they know what they're doing as well. And I guess what makes this one special in its own way is just being so beyond proud of all those underclassmen. The leadership that the juniors, the sophomores, and even the freshmen show, the fact that the freshmen just totally buy in to this culture. They have no idea what they're getting themselves into. And every day, one of my freshmen was saying the other day, she's like, sometimes I just pinch myself because I'm like, okay, I'm in this and I'm doing this. And she's like, and I'm buying into it. And so I guess this year just being so proud, just so proud of all of them. And I just can't wait to see what they accomplish. It's just really cool to see.
Erin, can you just describe your emotions right after the game as the horn sounded? I'm sure in the final few minutes you were all feeling confident and hopeful, but you never really know. So once that horn sounds, can you just take me through what was going through your head today?
Well, I knew until the last second of the game they could always come back. They can always get another goal and the game wouldn't be over. So watching the clock tick down with 10 seconds left, I was trying my best to stay in the game, but I was also just so excited to run over to Mego and just give her a hug, because it's just such an incredible feeling that everything we've worked for the entire season has paid off, and we all fought so hard for this game and for this championship. So to know that it paid off and that we just got it all today is an unreal feeling. I can't describe it.
Megan, I'd be remiss if I didn't bring up a fellow senior of yours that got injured in practice on Friday. Can you just talk a little bit about that and describe what it meant to be able to win this for her when she wasn't able to play today?
Yeah, I think my favorite quality about Amanda is her positivity. And she went down and we were all scared for sure. She was scared and hurt, and that's a scary thing to see your teammate and a senior captain. And definitely disheartening, but like I said, she has had a smile on her face pretty much since, which I think is incredibly difficult to do. And I know I speak for myself and the other seniors and the whole team that we're just so proud that that she's been able to do that, and she's been here, the whole way through. She's such a leader with her positive attitude, and we're just so happy to be able to do it for her. And yeah.
Coach, you mentioned 20 years ago, around this time, the first national title for Middlebury. Sorry, my camera falling there. First national title for Middlebury. It's now 4. To put that in some historical context, you're now one of just 4 schools with 4 or more national titles, joining TCNJ, Salisbury, and Bowdoin. I'll let you have the final statement here to kind of put a bow on this season for Middlebury and Division III. Your final thoughts on just this event in general and your team.
Yeah, that's a wonderful question. To let me just talk about field hockey in our division over the course of my career, over these 30 years. I think one thing that's really enjoyable to reflect on, and many of the other women in the room can attest to this, the quality of the game. It has become more and more and more enjoyable to be a part of this sport. And I say that, one, because there are more programs now. The competitiveness of all of the teams, the aspirational nature of our Division III has just skyrocketed. And years ago, many of you may remember when the NCAA decided to go to the automatic qualifier for the NCAA tournament. And as opposed to in the old days, we used to just pick the top 12 or 15 or 16 top ranked teams. And if you were ranked highly, then you got to go to the tournament. And we hemmed and hawed a lot at that point because there weren't enough good teams winning their conferences to fill a tournament and have the tournament be quite excellent. But that decision, I don't know how long ago that was, 20 years ago maybe, that decision has actually turned out to be exactly the right one, in my opinion. It has given more opportunity for access to the championship, which it intended to do. And now what we're seeing a dozen conferences, not just 1 or 2, that are able to put forth, a conference champion who can come to the Final Four and really, really compete. So I really believe that opened the door for the growth of Division III, even though it was painful in some years to see such a disparity in the competitiveness that deep in the tournament. Now that really has been minimized, and I think, so that's a long-winded way of getting back around to this championship today. It just, every year, it just gets to be a higher and higher and higher level. That game yesterday against Rowan, just because, and I only refer back to that because we're so familiar with the Tufts team. Going into that semifinal yesterday was so exciting. I didn't know if we could beat Rowan because we'd never been on the same field with them. I was confident we had the best plan to attack it, and it worked out well. But really knowing that the other team is a formidable foe, and it's just exciting to play the game and see who comes out on top. That's what a Final Four should be like, and it certainly was like that this time around.